the Human. I'm here in Brigham City, Utah. I'm going to take their historic walking tour and give it a review. This was one of the first homes in Brigham City, Utah, the Canen Cabin, built in 1855. I'll get up close to these logs so you can see them. You can see they're in rough shape, but they're from 1855, so it's kind of impressive that they still exist at all. And it's amazing that all of this was probably chopped by hand. It was probably squared up and jointed perfectly. And if you're wondering, there's also a bell dedicated to Brigham Young. So I actually did not go to the first site of this tour once I realized that it's just a neighborhood. There's nothing to see there except a stone. And I don't quite have that YouTuber confidence of rolling up to a place and filming myself, especially people's houses. So there is a first stop, and it was the original site of the fort in Brigham City, which would be really cool if there were some remnants of it, but it doesn't appear that there are, and it's pretty far away from all the other stops. So honestly, even my own anxiety aside, I just don't know that it's worth going all the way over there for that. The next stop is this historic railroad depot with a caboose. I'll go get a selfie by the caboose. It looks like it's a museum, but I think since I'm just doing this tour, I don't think I'll have time for the museum today. There's this cool caboose here. And if you're wondering what the steps of a caboose are made of, it's this really sharp metal that is not super comfortable. And now I'm headed back downtown. I'm going to go past the next stop, but it looks like all of the remaining ones are within a couple of blocks of this main square, so I think I'll just find a place to park and walk for a little bit. Saw something really cool up here. Check it out. It's a beautiful mansard roof up there. Love it. There's great details around the windows up there too. And the sign letting me know that I have made it to a tour stop. The Box Elder Brigham City Tabernacle. One thing I really like about this building is the contrast between the stone and the brickwork. It's really cool. And that stained glass is very pretty. Reminds me of something Tiffany would do. This is the oldest church in Brigham City that is still standing. It was finished in 1886. It was also used as a school until 1911. And now it is a Presbyterian Church. Still in use, and it looks like they have a preschool as well. This is the Brigham City Arch. It was built in 1928. Here I am at the Box Elder County Courthouse, our next stop. This was the first public building in Brigham City. They started building it in about 1855 or 56. That's what the tour says, 55 or 56. And in 1857, all of the walls blew down in a windstorm, and they hurried and rebuilt them, and they had the building finished by the end of 1857. This is the original Brigham City Hall and fire station. It's now the Chamber of Commerce. Oh, it has a sign on it that you can read, should you choose. Conspicuously missing from the tour is this old Carnegie Library. And it looks like it's still the library. I see some books through that window there. I'm in a little bit of a time crunch now, so I can't go into there or the courthouse. I would have liked to. Okay, so I didn't finish the tour. There were 17 stops, and I got to 10 of them. I didn't go to the first one, of course, because there's not really anything there to see, and just nothing that I'm comfortable filming. I did not go to 12 through 17, because those are far enough away and spaced out enough that you have to drive to do it, or you'll be walking all day long. Even that little stretch I did from, I think it was 5 through 10, even that stretch was a lot of walking, and those were all within 2 blocks of where I parked. So any one of them wasn't necessarily a bad walk, but the whole loop was pretty big. I think I must have walked at least a mile. I probably should have measured it so that I could tell you. Overall, I like the tour. I think it's a great idea, and I think that it's overall well done. Things that I didn't like. I did not like the platform that it was on. It was difficult to navigate. I could go through each place one at a time, but if I wanted to go back and look at the overall map, it lost my place and it removed me from the tour entirely. So I had to go back, look at the map, pick my tour on the map to eliminate all the points of the other tours, and then look at the map again to figure out where I was going. And they have the option on a point-by-point basis to get directions through Google Maps to get to each individual location. But that's the individual location. I would love to be able to see all of the points on a map and get directions and know what I'm looking at. So get a big picture and a small picture all in the same platform. And it's possible. There are platforms out there that do that for very little money, if not $0. And actually, I think the ones you pay for, I bet you anything, the city or the county already have licenses for that software. Someone could just do it in an afternoon, probably. That's how simple it would be. I think the tour is very large. It goes all over town. I would suggest cutting it in half. Maybe have the downtown tour that you can walk, and then a driving loop for the ones that are more far out. So all the downtown ones are pretty good. That's the loop that I walked. And like I said, it feels like about a mile. I don't know for sure. But I parked by the courthouse, which ended up being pretty central. I think I walked 2 blocks to one point, then 2 blocks from there to another point. But it was 2 blocks from my car still, because of the direction I was going. So it was just really spaced out, and some of the numbers on the map didn't make sense. For example, 8 and 9, well, 7, 8, and 9 are on different sides of the street from each other. So it goes 7 on one side of the street, 8 on the next side of the street, 9 on the other side of the street, 10 on the other side of the street, and then you get to 11. So I didn't cross the street. Number 8 was the gateway arch thing. I didn't cross the street to look at that because it goes across the street. I just looked at it from the side I was on. But if I was following directions, I probably would have crossed at a crosswalk on the corner and then gone down and realized, oh, I didn't need to cross the street. But there's a crosswalk underneath it, so I guess that path kind of encourages people to use the crosswalk under the arch, which is cool. I would have liked to use the crosswalk if I had a little more time. But then the other side of the road, number 10, the same side that would have been a mistake to be on, just doesn't make sense either, because it's a nondescript building. It's a Wells Fargo bank right now. Sure, it's old, sure, it's historic. I don't think it needed to be a point. I would take that point and put it on the Carnegie Library, because that is an awesome building that stands out from anything else in town, and it's not on the tour at all. I think overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I don't have a rubric, maybe I'll make one for the future, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 7 for that tour. Like, it was above average in its presentation, but it was still in the average range, I think. I was looking for walking tours for Hiram, Utah, where I was staying last night, and their walking tour just has points. It doesn't tell you what each thing is. It doesn't give you information about it. So it's just points. And it might be that there are signs on the places that the points represent. I don't know, because I didn't do it. Because I couldn't look ahead and see what the tour was going to take me to. This tour had all the points laid out. I was able to look at them on the overall map. You can eliminate the pins of different tours. There's 3 or 4 different tours, and all the pins are on the same map. And you can have the pins removed, so you're only looking at one tour at a time. And then you can click on those and see what the points are before you go on it. It's just the navigation once you're walking around that's a little bit clunky, and how spread out it is, and with the number of stops. I think those things detract from giving it a 10. They bring it down a little bit. I think it could be tightened up, and it could be a really strong tour. But great job, Brigham City, Utah. Go visit Brigham City, Utah. They have an annual peach festival that I think I need to come to. I'm Carl the Human. If you feel like you want to help support me in a tangible way, if you like what I'm doing, I'm trying to get some equipment so that I can do this a little bit more professionally and a little bit more high quality. Check out my Amazon wish list in the description below, and of course, like and subscribe. That doesn't cost any money, and that will motivate me as well. So thanks for watching. See you next time.